retirement of El Diamante, Dustin Poirier, guys. Retiring. UFC 318 against Max Holloway, the current BMF. It's going to be an absolute banger, and it happens in Louisiana. Dustin Poirier's hometown. It's an absolutely fun card because we have 14 fights, which leads me to believe there's going to be a whole bunch of finishes because usually we have pretty organized time constraints. But I suspect a lot of finishes. I don't think this is a good fight card for casual fans. There's a lot of names, a lot of individuals might just not know. But I think there's going to be a lot of action. There are some notable names, some vets in here. And ultimately, everybody's watching this for the main event, and it's just built around Dustin Poirier. So I'm going to break that down, guys. Best picks, predictions, and bets. If you're new here, I got to give you this little welcome. Be sure to follow UFC Nashville. Quick look back at it. Plus 2.8 units, guys. Now that gives us plus 27.8 units for 2025. If you want my exclusive bets, just follow my Instagram, subscribe through there, MMA Casual _, and then my winnable link will be in the description. But without further ado, let's get started, guys. And the underdog bet has been placed. That was posted on Sunday. Tomorrow, I will be placing our bet of the week, which is doing shit. It's over 2, but great value, right spots. And then our underdog pick of the weeks, we're 2 for 2. So without further ado, guys, let's get to it. Cardi, Judis, Nicole, Kiari, guys, WMMA. I can't do this every week where I just shit all over these girls. Listen, the reality is Cardi, Judis is the bigger girl. She's the longer girl. She has a little less experience, but she has proven to be dangerous. I think here with a quite significant reach advantage, I think she's going to be able to, evade the takedown. I think she's going to be able to keep the distance, keep Nicole Cagliari off of her. But I think this fight is an absolute mess. An absolute mess. At the end of the day, it's WMMA. I say underdog is the way to go here. And I'm opening up the UFC. I'm sorry, not the UFC, the Hard Rock app, because I like to give live odds. So right now, Carly Judis is a minus 350 favorite, which is bananas. I would not put that money on her. Cagliari is plus 260. I think that's where the value lies. The over 2.5 is minus 275. The under is plus 200. The only other thing I can think of, guys, if you're feeling Cardi Judis, her by knockout is plus 375. I don't think she gets a finish here. I think this goes to decision, and it has women's MMA written all over it, guys. I'm staying away from there. Next up, Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVey. Guys, Jackson McVey has had bad luck. He should have had his debut a few weeks back against Cedric Dumas. We know what happened there. Got arrested, but couldn't get an ankle monitor off in time or stand before a judge to get the ankle monitor off in time. He's continuously having issues with the law. Then they threw in some other guy making his debut. I don't even freaking remember his name. Ultimately, now he's here against Bruno Ferreira, and I do not understand. What's going on here. It's an absolute setup. Here, guys. But this is what I have to say. I think this is too big of a step up in competition. This is a UFC debut for Jackson McVey. So this is a toss-up for Bruno Ferreira. I probably wouldn't have even taken a fight like this because, God forbid, Jackson McVey finds a way to finish his fight. Bruno Ferreira is just, you look like shit. And then obviously it slingshots Jackson McVey into being an actual not contender, but an up-and-comer and a great prospect in the UFC. So Bruno Ferreira minus 650. You don't lay anything around there. Jackson McVey plus 450. If for whatever reason you think this guy's going to get a win, you go the McVey route. In reality, McVey, some slick grappling is what I saw in the footage. I don't see him finishing Bruno Ferreira. I don't see him out-grappling Bruno Ferreira. If he gets a takedown, Bruno Ferreira is just as dangerous on his back. So I like Bruno Ferreira knockout. I do like an early finish, but a little dangerous here. The under 1.5 is minus 300, and that's already dangerous territory, but I do think that's the case. Bruno Ferreira by knockout minus 130. Bruno Ferreira by sub plus 220. I do like the knockout play at minus 130. I am taking him round 1 knockout, and that's actually part of one of my long shot parlays, so I'll tell you that. Another one of my long shot parlays, guys, Ryan Spann versus Lucas Breski. Ryan Spann, I remember the time he knocked out Dominic Reyes. I was in Vegas. It was the card where Izzy and Alex Pereira fought for the first time in the UFC, where Alex Pereira beat him. And Ryan Spann told Rogan after being interviewed that he doesn't even really train MMA. He just shows up. And I was like, oh shit, man, if this guy trains, this guy's fucking nasty. He had like 3 straight knockout finishes in the first round or some crazy shit like that at the time. And then he moved to heavyweight, or maybe he started training. I don't know what it was. But Ryan Spann started shitting the bed, and he became the most unreliable dude. And both these guys are coming off a loss. What I will say is, I think Ryan Spann packs a good punch. I don't like him at heavyweight, but he is the bigger guy. I believe he's a longer guy in this situation too. He packs power. He's a submission threat, and quite frankly, Breski has no chin whatsoever, and just a lower skilled fighter. So in a position like this, where I'm obviously weary of betting on Ryan Spann at this position at this point in his career, after seeing some of the things we've seen, I'm all over him here. And I love the money line. His money line last time I saw it was minus 220, which I think is honestly and like a steal. And I think he knocks out Breski. He's minus 250 now, so that's actually widening a little bit. And guys, to be honest with you, I think he knocks him out. Of course, Spann has submissions, but Ryan Spann by knockout plus 190, Spann by submission plus 220, Spann by finish is minus 160. So definitely you take care of both aspects of a finish, but minus 160. Uh, Maybe you parlay that. But guys, I'm taking him round one. I'm taking him round one, and I'm actually taking him by knockout. Round one knockout, another one. I just feel like he gets it done. And round one knockout for Ryan Spann is plus 450. Honestly, throw half a unit to a unit on that, and like bill me later. Bill me later, because I feel like I'm doing everybody a favor. I think Ryan Spann walks here in round one and catches Breski's chin. And I think it's the easiest thing in the world. I do not think he needs 5 minutes. But anyway, I'm gonna move forward. So many fights. Jimmy Crute, Marcin, Chino. Guys, Jimmy Crute is, I believe, 0-3-2 in his last five. He's just, this guy is more unreliable than Ryan Spann. He's more unreliable than Kevin Holland was a year ago. Jimmy Crute is just this skilled guy who's a scary grappling threat, who packs a little bit of a punch, but just can't get his hand raised. I don't know. He did something to the MMA gods that lean against him, and right now he's fighting Pacino, Prachnio. I don't know why I said Pacino, and I said it twice too. Prachnio, and he's not all that. So I get that Jimmy Crute's a minus 325 favorite, but with his history, I think this line needs to close. So I think I'm going Jimmy Crute. I'm like so on the fence about this fight, because I really am considering going Pacino in this fight. Pacino. I don't want people to think I'm saying Pacino. Pacino. But I said it again. Pacino. Jesus Christ. So much lighting in here. Guys, for me, it's dog or bust. Jimmy Crute might end up being my pick. I am so on the fence. I might flip flop this pick until I have to post on my Instagram for the official one. I'm flip floppy. Right now I'm kind of up in the air. I think I might go Prachnio as an underdog here. What I do like is this fight not to go the distance. It's minus 200. Maybe parlay that. But both of these guys are somewhat unreliable, and being a handicapper, do not feel comfortable telling you I picked Jimmy Crute, honestly, because he is a disaster, honestly. He might look good for 1 minute and then he just drops the ball. Anyway, let's get back to the real stuff. Islam Dulatov against Adam Fugate. I swear, like every year passes by and the names just get harder in the UFC, but I fuck with Fugate. Fugate. All right. Adam Fugate. Guys, pretty all around good fighter, but this is straight up. Islam Dulatov is disgusting. He is gross. This kid is one of those rising stars that we put into the UFC, and kind of like Joshua Van just starts fucking performing. I hope he fights every few months, because if you see this guy's tape, he looks very high level for where he's at. And again, that's always the regional scene. Adam Fugate is a guy who has some experience. So, maybe a dangerous pick here, but I'm all over Islam here by whatever the hell he wants. I think he finds a finish. I think it might take a little bit into this fight to get there, but I'm on him in this position. I like Islam here. Minus 650. Minus 650. That line moved like crazy. Yesterday, I think it was at minus 400. Guys, stay away from this fight. Let's see what the fight to go the distance is. I'm sorry, because this is garbage right now. I told you. Some of these spots I just don't feel comfortable. I told you it's not a casual card. I'm the MMA casual. This is not for us, guys. Under 2.5 is minus 525. Over 1.5 is plus 150. Guys, I'm staying away from this one too. Straight up. I'm not taking a UFC debut guy, even though I think he is very promising. I think he gets a win. I'm not taking him. Now it gets a little more fun, guys. Atiba Gautier, Robert Valentin, Valentine, whatever. Um, this fight is also not seeing a second round. In my opinion, Atiba Gautier is he has like this build like Jared Cannonier, and he has the power of like Mark Hunt and Francis Ngannou having a baby. This guy is fucking scary, and he's so measured when he's in there. He's kind of just like hunting people down, and when he throws those strikes, you like feel the force. Like these poor orbital bones are gonna be cracked in the UFC because when this guy lands a punch, you are going out. You are going out. Robert, on the other hand, Mr. Roberto over there, he's willing to bang shit out. He's willing to stand there and brawl with anybody. And my concern in this fight is if Robert grapples and has some success, because I think Atiba's a very low level grappler, but he relies a lot on his strength. And obviously, I'll take that because since he's so athletic and so strong, he finds his way out of situations where he's taken down. But if Robert gets into some sort of grappling exchange where Atiba's trying to get out and he's kind of drowning under him, I mean, you know that sub could always be there. So I think that's always a scary play. I'll tell you what the Robert by sub play is, but this is not something I'm confident at all. What I really like here is Atiba finding a knockout in round number one. I don't think that's a lock per se, but I feel pretty confident in it. Atiba by knockout minus 275. Total rounds under 1.5 is minus 160. I really like that one actually. Atiba to win by finish is minus 375. Let's go to my parlays over here. Winning round. Atiba by knockout round one is plus 145. Definitely what the odd makers think is a good possibility. Robert by submission is plus 1100. And I think that is as sneaky as the players you're going to get in this fight, guys. Other than that, Atiba by finish, Atiba by knockout. The money line's a little scary. He's minus 650. Like I said, there's no value there. The UFC lines are nuts lately. Another quick breakdown. Francisco Prado, Nikolai Verdetenikov. Verdetenikov coming in as the underdog plus 120. Prado minus 145. I think this is a pretty close fight. Francisco Prado, I've been all over him before. I've lost some money on him. I'll be frank with you. I think he's a pretty good overall fighter. Nikolai, on the other hand, a lot of people suspected him to beat Vanderford last time around. He was just lackluster, man. And in a fight like this, I'm going to use recency bias, and I'm going to go with the favorite here at minus 145. Do I feel super comfortable laying chalk on him? Not necessarily, but lower level MMA fight, if you ask me. And what Nikolai has for him is really the reach advantage and the height advantage. But I think Francisco Prado has the tools to get it done by decision. Marvin, Vtori, Brendan Allen. Guys, all of a sudden it seems like Marvin Vtori is like this underdog for the community, and I don't understand why, guys. If you saw him against Roman Dolite, all you have is that this guy has cardio, this guy could take a beating, you know, he's durable, and that he's aging. And that's the important message here. He is an aging veteran. He's an aging veteran who has a cinder block for a head, and he could stay on his feet the whole fight. Now, when you have Brendan Allen, someone who's been rather inconsistent when we talk about, you know, superior competition, when we talk about those contenders, when we talk about the top 15, Brendan Allen's had some tough matchups, right? But everybody he's lost to has been actual title contenders. And we're looking at somebody who's just more of in his prime. I'm going to take it at that. And I think Brendan Allen could keep at range here. I think Marvin Vtori just gets hit too much. So I like Brendan Allen landing the shots. And to be frank with you, if Brendan Allen gets into some grappling exchanges, I think he'll look like Brendan Allen. I don't think Marvin Vtori is just, you know, gonna stay standing the whole time. I think Brendan Allen can sneak a few things. My only concern in this fight is if Brendan Allen starts to gas out, he could win round 1 and 2. But if he's gassed, Marvin Vtori could come at him, pressure, be that cinder block, and that type of pressure late when you're gas tank is empty is when guys get finished. A little body work, you're tired, you're breathing heavy, and all of a sudden you get finished. And that's my only concern in this fight. But I feel fairly comfortable on Brendan Allen. I'm trying to find what everybody's seeing in this, but at minus 220, I feel comfortable laying chalk on Brendan Allen. I'm fairly confident on this. I do not have anything on Vtori. Next up, our featured prelim, guys, Kyler Phillips against Venicious Olivivera. Guys, very fun matchup. I'm very excited. Two guys who could throw crazy spinning shit. Two guys who have proven that they belong in the UFC. We're going to see a higher caliber. I think this is where the card switches. Obviously, Brendan Allen and Marvin Vtori's that spot, but I think this is where we take a step up in competition. Kyler Phillips is very good. The concern here is his cardio. He's going to come out. He's going to look for a takedown. He's going to look for a spinning kick. He's going to be flashy. He's going to have good footwork. Now, going into round two, what's going to happen? I think the superior striking ability, which lies with Venicious Olivivera, is going to come into play. Venicious Olivivera is going to start to pick apart Kyler Phillips starting in round two. Maybe in round one. Maybe he comes out and starches him. But I really do feel like this is a 29-28 matchup. I think the read is there. Kyler Phillips round one if he gets some grappling. And then Venicious Olivivera keeping the pressure, being the dog, and then hopefully finding something late. I like Venicious Olivivera in rounds 2 or 3 in this matchup. I also like him by finish. And I personally think there is a realm of possibility where this goes to decision. I don't like Kyler Phillips here. I think he doesn't have the cardio, and I think his grappling will be there, but I think he's going to have issues with Venicious Olivivera. I think Venicious Olivivera is going to be able to bait the takedown, take the win. At minus 155, I like the money line for Venicious Olivivera. I parlayed that. Kyler Phillips at plus 125. If you like Kyler Phillips here with his experience and the things he's shown in his last couple of fights, I completely understand it. Total rounds over 1.5 is minus 500. Under is plus 325. The over 2.5 is minus 225. That's not a bad bet. And under is plus 165 if you think anybody finds a finish. So honestly, I'm more inclined to think Venicious Olivivera just lands some more damaging shots in round 2 or 3. Phillips looks tired, gets, the grappling gets canceled out because he can't get a takedown. And then, Venicious Olivivera by decisions plus 170. I don't think that's a bad bet. Moving on, Michael Johnson, Daniel Zellhuber. Guys, Daniel Zellhuber put on a freaking war at the Sphere against Esteban Ribovics. I became an instant fan of both of those guys. Last year, I actually said that was the fight of the year. And he's coming in here. He lost that fight in a very close split decision. And he's coming here against a very experienced veteran who's coming off a win, Michael Johnson, who's gotten in there with some of the best there has ever been. He has finishing ability. And I have a little bit of a problem with this line. Ultimately, I'm going Zellhuber. I think he's going to be able to keep the distance. I think he's going to land the more damaging shots. I think he's going to ride this into a decision, right? He's a patient fighter at times. He is willing to bang. He proved he's durable. He almost got finished like 4 different times against Ribovics, which is another point that's a little concerning. But Zellhuber minus 600 is just too wide for me. And he was minus 425, and I thought about it, and I thought that was too wide too. Michael Johnson has a lot of experience, and yes, he's older. Yes, he is over the hill, but he can find the shot here. And at minus 600, I'm not laying anything. Total rounds over 1.5, minus 250. I like that a lot. Under plus 180. Over 2.5 rounds. 2.5 is the pick 'em basically. The under is minus 120. I think Zellhuber can find a finish. Either guy really can, but I could really see Zellhuber just respecting Michael Johnson, kind of keeping range and just landing shots for 15 minutes, man. I could see that happening. Zellhuber by decision plus 190. Zellhuber by knockout plus 165. That seems to be what the bookies think is going to happen. So if that's what you're feeling too, I say go for it. I like Daniel Zellhuber, but I'm staying away from betting on this fight. Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbulle. Guys, I was torn, absolutely torn when I saw this fight because there's a lot of recency bias with Pitbulle, right? There's the questions. He's older. He just got here from Bellator. He looked like garbage against Yair. And then you have Dan Ige, somebody who's never been finished, coming up, has come up short against contenders, coming off a win against Sean Woodson, but I had him losing the fight, a little bit of an early stoppage. But in this position, Dan Ige minus 225, Pitbull at plus 180. I'm almost saying if I was a bookie, I would almost have this at a pick 'em. Maybe you give Dan Ige the slight favorite edge. He was a minus 180. Now he's minus 225. And anything over 200, I wouldn't bet Dan Ige, guys. So in this spot, I'm a big fan of Dan Ige. Like I said, I think he should be a slight favorite But I think the age is a difference. I think we really do get fooled. There's a difference in level between the UFC and Bellator. And you know what, guys? Pitbull just doesn't have the right game plan lately. He's not going for grappling. He's not going for the wrestling. Dan Ige has stood in there even against Diego Lopez off short notice and looked freaking fantastic. I like Dan Ige. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a knockout finish, but I'll take him by decision. Patricio, Pitbull, if he's not wrestling and he's that low of output, Dan Ige is going to pick him apart. I think he rides a decision. So Dan Ige, total rounds over 2.5 is minus 350, and then unders plus 240. I think Pitbull could stay safe. Winning method, Dan Ige by decision plus 105. So I think that's very likely. Dan Ige by knockout plus 350. And then, of course, if you're on the other end and you think that Dan Ige is taking this huge jump in competition, or Pitbull just had, UFC debut jitters, I understand the Pitbull pick, but I feel like you're betting on your heart and you're betting on a fighter you wanted 5 years ago, not right now. So I just don't like it. Next up, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. Oh boy, do I love this fight. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, a couple years back, I would say 2 years back, I would tell you Kevin Holland is the most unpredictable guy. He goes in there with no IQ, doesn't care about his fighting. But that was at middleweight. When he's at welterweight, he's a different fighter. He's so big in there, so powerful. His speed is there. The submissions are there. People can't take him down as easily. He has a pop. He has a pep in his step. I love Kevin Holland at welterweight, and I took him against Gunnar Nelson, and then I took him against Vicente Luque, and I'm all over him again until he disappoints me once again. Do I think it's going to happen right now? Absolutely not. I think there's levels to this shit. Daniel Rodriguez, in my opinion, I thought he was washed 2 years ago. Now, though, coming in, yes, he's coming off that knockout win against Ponzinibbio, who basically is on stilts at all times. I love Kevin Holland in this position. At minus 450, I'm almost like that's a steal because I feel like Kevin Holland could be a minus 750 in this position. Daniel Rodriguez plus 350. I feel like Kevin Holland is like the most confident pick I have on this card. I think he finds a finish. 1.5 rounds. The under is plus 130. The over is minus 170. Winning method, Holland by decision plus 225. Knockout plus 200. Sub plus 300. And fight to go the distance, no, is minus 190. Yes, is plus 145. Guys, I'll be honest with you. If you've gotten this far, I'm going to give you my bet of the week. My bet of the week is Kevin Holland within the distance. And right now it's minus 125. And I'm like, is this a joke? I think like 8 to 9 times out of 10, Kevin Holland finishes Daniel Rodriguez. And it could happen by knockout or it could happen by sub. I think he's too long, too fast. And if for whatever reason Kevin Holland says, let me take this fight seriously, I'm in some trouble, let me go for a takedown, I think he finds whatever he wants on the ground. Anyway, I'm going to move forward. We're wasting time. Co-main event of the evening, Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. Same story as Marvin Vtori for Paulo Costa, guys. Same story. Unreliable. The worst thing that ever happened to that guy was fighting Israel Adesanya. He was the man coming up, killing everybody. All of a sudden thinks he's better than everybody, does drugs and is drinking alcohol the night before a title fight. What do you think happens? The biggest decline of all time. And yeah, man, then Sean and Luke and just, I don't know, guys who should have been more competitive against Paulo Costa or vice versa. Paulo Costa should have been more competitive. He just looks like this up-and-coming prospect, and I just don't think he's taking the sport seriously anymore. I know there's like this narrative that now he is. I'm not betting on Paulo Costa. He's plus 190 right now. Kopylov minus 240. This is a kickboxing fight. And my concern with Kopylov is the cardio. We saw him kind of slow down in his last fight against Chris Curtis. But then he kind of cranked it back up and he found the finish late. So give me Roman Kopylov to win a little bit of a close decision here. I think he's going to win 2 rounds out of 3. Paulo Costa will have his moments. He's going to have his flashy kicks or his power coming in out of nowhere. I don't think he knocks out Roman Kopylov. And then, I mean, he should have a grappling advantage, but when's the last time you saw Costa do anything with his grappling? I like Kopylov to stay safe, stay distant, use a lot of kicks, and just land the better strikes and have more volume. It's that simple. That simple, guys. Next up, and there I would take the Kopylov money line minus 240. I don't think that's bad. Over 1.5 rounds minus 475. Unders plus 300. Under 2.5 rounds is plus 170. I don't know who finishes who here, if there is one, but very possible. Kopylov by decision plus 100. Yeah, man. I think I'd stay safe in that fight. I wouldn't start hunting props. And that one, I think you take the money line. If you like Costa, take the plus 190. Guys, quick little rant. The last fight of the evening. Max Holloway, and he's coming in as the favorite here. Let me find the fights. I gotta have these fights like lined up or written down. Max Holloway is a minus 140. Dustin Poirier is a plus 110 underdog. Listen, I'm gonna start off by saying this is my underdog of the week. We're 2 for 2. We hit Benil Dariush last week. Who in the world did we hit? We hit Jake Matthews, and this week I put Dustin Poirier at plus 110, at plus 100. Guys, this is a trilogy fight. Max's second trilogy. He lost 3 fights against Volk. He lost his UFC debut against Dustin Poirier in 2019 for an interim belt. He lost against Dustin Poirier. And what's changed since then? Well, I would say momentum. I'd say Dustin's the older guy. I say now Max is a true lightweight. He's really filled the frame. We saw him look great against Justin Gaethje, find a knockout with 1 second left. And then he went back down to featherweight. Ilia Topuria knocked him out. Max Holloway's known for being a durable guy, the best boxer in the UFC, a fan favorite. He actually retired somebody already. He retired the Korean Zombie, right? And that was like the saddest thing ever. What I'm here to say is we don't get another retirement from Max Holloway like the Korean Zombie. I don't think we get somebody coming in with a big hook and Max catching him, and then everybody crying because our fan favorite Max Holloway retired somebody we love. No, I think Dustin Poirier does what he's done twice already. Do I think it's a sub? No, like their debut, like the debut of Max Holloway. No, I think these guys are gonna go in there. I think Dustin Poirier's in Louisiana in front of his home crowd. He's never really gotten a belt. Not that the BMF is like this legitimate title we're taking, but I think Dustin Poirier stands and bangs with Max Holloway. I think he uses his leg kicks effectively. I think he breaks down Max Holloway. And the only concern this time around is that Max Holloway might pack a little more of a punch, because Max Holloway usually isn't that scary of a power threat. Let's be honest. Go back in all of his fights. You can't tell me you land over 400 significant strikes on somebody and not knock them out and you're powerful. You know what I mean? And yes, that was at 145, but that's always been an issue for me. And then all of a sudden he put out Gaethje, who stood in the middle of an octagon with the last 10 seconds trying to brawl. And I just don't think that Dustin Poirier is going to have this brawl moment with Max Holloway unless it's in the final 10 seconds, like after 25 minutes. I think it's going to be a controlled chaos. And I think Dustin Poirier is going to kick the legs. I think Dustin Poirier is going to compete. He will be out volumed. I think Max Holloway will land more volume, but I think Dustin lands the more damaging shots. And quite frankly, Dustin Poirier is the better fighter. I don't know anybody who would tell me Max Holloway is the better all-around mixed martial artist. Dustin Poirier is going to have more of a threat on the ground. He has grappling ability. He's durable as well. And you know what? Dustin Poirier is coming off of a loss. He's coming off of a loss to Islam Makhachev, who he went 25 minutes with. 20 minutes with, and then went into the 5th round and then got submitted. 20 minutes with Islam Makhachev. Who the hell is going that far with Islam besides him and Volk? Nobody. Before that, up-and-coming prospect knocks out Benoit Saint-Denis. And before that was the Gaethje knockout. Got caught with a head kick. Max Holloway, on the other hand, beat Justin Gaethje, right? And MMA math, and you might do your math inside. It doesn't add up. But he goes and gets slept by Ilia Topuria. And you know what, guys? That's like the unlocking of the chin. Guys are durable and they have the best chin in the world till they don't. And Max Holloway's at that point in his career where I promise you, Max Holloway has CTE. I promise you, Max Holloway has taken more damage than 90% of the roster. And right now, he just took one of the most beautiful shots that put him to sleep for the first time. And, the screws loose on the jaw, guys. The mandible's loose. And I feel like Dustin Poirier could find it. My call, Dustin Poirier, money line. That's my bet. But you want some action? Dustin Poirier within the distance. And I think that's going to happen. And I think he retires in Louisiana. I think we all cry. I think he's crowned the BMF. I think the UFC says, you know what, retire the BMF belt with a legend. It's an emotional night. And I think Max Holloway is the first UFC fighter to lose 2 trilogies. That's my thing. That's my take, right? That's my rant about this fight. So the diamond stays on top. It's within the distance. Let's get you those odds. Dustin Poirier plus 110. Total rounds. Crazy play here. Under 4.5 rounds, guys. Plus 130. Check that out. Dustin Poirier by knockout plus 400. Poirier by decision plus 300. Oh man, that's nice. Sub plus 1400. Now let's be honest. If you're on the max side, max at these odds is great. Minus 140. I understand it. Max Holloway by decision plus 170. Likely he's gonna have the volume. So that's never a bad pick. Max Holloway by knockout plus 350. Doubtful of that. Fight to go the distance. No is plus 110. I feel a finish here, man. I would love a 25-minute war where it's like a close split decision to see who won and everybody's on the edge of their seat. But I think a Dustin Poirier knocking out Max Holloway will complete the trifecta, right? He's beaten by sub, then beat him by decision. Holy shit, if Dustin Poirier beats Max Holloway by knockout, wins the trilogy, hits the trifecta against the fighter, finishes as the BMF, and does it in Louisiana. Give me a better story. Give me a better story. You don't have it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all. Have a good one. Be sure to subscribe, notifications, and do the thing. I don't know. Leave comments, like. See you later.